Hi there. Hello. Welcome back to Productive Introvert Community podcast, season 3. We're back after a 2-month break. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Mariela. This podcast talks about different topics related to energy management and habits, especially for introverts. For those of you who are back after season 2, thank you for sticking around. If you like what you hear, subscribe for a new episode each week, or share this with someone who you think might find these topics helpful. For this first episode, we are revisiting the most popular episodes of last season. The 2 episodes that were viewed the most from season 2 was the one about discipline and why there's probably nothing wrong with your discipline, even if you feel like you lack discipline. And the other one was about low energy and why introverts often feel like they're low energy, even though that's not actually true. If you haven't heard those episodes before, or you'd like a little refresher, keep listening for 2 short clips from these episodes, starting with why there's probably nothing wrong with your discipline. Welcome to the Productive Introvert Community podcast, helping ambitious introverts who feel deep down that they can add more value to the world to really thrive in their work. I'm Mariela Franker, and I'll be sharing what I'm learning as an introverted entrepreneur, a natural productivity coach, and a mom while I build my business online and take care of my family and myself. In this podcast, you'll learn the mindset and the practical steps to naturally increase the impact of your work while making space for your unique strengths as an introvert. As I hear my clients say all the time, I'm not disciplined enough, or I wish I had more discipline. Usually we'll be talking about something that's hard for them at that moment and that they feel stuck with somehow. It feels like this huge mountain in front of you. Especially introverts, we sometimes feel like we get stuck overthinking, which kind of overlaps with this research mode of going over something over and over in your head and kind of staying there idle and beating yourself up about it because you really just want to move. You want to make progress. You want to create something or connect with someone, do something about it. But the funny thing is that when I talk to my clients about things that they're naturally interested in, they turn out to be very disciplined at those things. They'll keep expanding and expanding on a topic until they have this really extensive and complete picture of what is happening in a certain field, so that they can, for example, write an article about that, or just because it's their personal interest. Or like they'll spend hours and hours learning how to crochet or how to knit. So with things like that they're naturally interested in, they're very disciplined. But if you ask them outright, they'll say, oh no, I'm not disciplined. I can't even manage to get my newsletter out on time every week. So it's really interesting, that contrast that we have in our own minds and the idea of what the word discipline means. So let's talk about that a little bit. First, let me ask you, what comes up for you when you hear the word discipline? And I'll give you a second to think about that. The first thing that pops into my mind, regrettably, is to discipline, which basically means to punish, right? When most people hear that word discipline, they think of something that's hard. We automatically think of something, oh, it's hard. It's something that I'm being forced to do, or something that I have to force myself to do. All these words: have to, force, should, difficult. And there lies the problem, because we've all learned that you need to be disciplined. You need to have discipline if you want to achieve anything, if you want to be successful, if you want to have any quality of life, basically. You need to do things that you don't like to do. At the same time, a lot of people feel that they want that. A lot of my clients say, oh, I wish I were more disciplined. I wish I had that. Like almost like they need to become a different person in order for that to become a reality. So most of the time we associate discipline with suffering and with things that we don't want to do, But really the idea of discipline, so letting go of that definition for a second that clearly has the word punishment in there, and letting go of what we've learned about discipline, letting go of all of that for a minute. What is the idea of discipline actually? The idea of it is really one of self-control. It's the idea that you have the self-control to weigh short-term gains and long-term gains and to make a decision there that will have a positive impact on your life, also on the long term. So there is this tension there of what we think discipline is and what we actually want in our lives. Next up is the episode that was actually viewed the most across all the different platforms that I shared about this topic. And that's why a lot of introverts feel like they're low energy and why that's actually not true. If you're interested in hearing more about these topics, click on the links below in the description and they will take you to the full episodes where I give a little bit more background and a few more examples. They're about 10 minutes each. I've been thinking about energy a lot lately because I do notice that it's one of the things that really can be a barrier for people to live their best life, especially if you're someone who is easily overstimulated or drained by activities. It can be really, really difficult to navigate that and to still feel like you have the energy to do the things that you want to do. I posted something online the other day about this, and I got so many responses on that post. Someone said that, I feel so seen by your post. This is so recognizable to me. Someone else said that they really identified with what I shared in that post. And I was talking about how I used to think of myself as a low energy person. And I'm making air quotes right now if you're listening to this on audio. And it was just like this little disclaimer that I used to let people know that I was not going to be staying for drinks after work, that I was probably not going to be at the party after 9 p.m. or that I wasn't going to be joining on that activity-packed 3-day networking event. Because I'm a low energy person, I can't do all those things. And a lot of introverts, they feel like something is wrong with them because they struggle with their energy. And this was true for me too. We think that because we're an introvert who prefers calm, that we can't handle pressure or the demands of being an entrepreneur. Or that we're terrible at our jobs if we're not available every hour of the day. Or even that we're a completely selfish person and a bad parent. Don't forget that one. Because sometimes we crave time away from our spouse and our kids. So these are quite sensitive topics, right? It's not very easy to talk about it. I'm just thinking of something that happened yesterday, that I was in a call with my coach and my son came to the door and he just refused to leave and he sat on my lap. Now, luckily, my coach, she's amazing and she didn't mind at all. And working from home, you get those situations. And I didn't mind him being there for this call. But sometimes it can be a bit much, right? Having people around you all the time. You see, the problem isn't that introverts are low energy or that they can't handle pressure. The problem usually is that we neglect our own energy needs. And I did that for a long time too. It's not surprising that a lot of us, we brush it off, right? Or we even talk ourselves out of taking a little break during the day. because we're so used to seeing examples of people who are always on like that. We wear busy like it's like a badge of honor. Oh no, I'm so busy. That means, oh, things are going well. Your business is booming because you're busy. And a lot of times we don't see a lot of examples of quiet and calm leaders who still make a really big impact without hustling 24/7. Probably it's because they also like quiet and calm and they don't talk about it that much. So the examples are out there, but are usually a little bit more hush-hush. Most of what we see is this really big and loud, and we inadvertently think that that's what we need to do to be seen. That's what we have to compete with to achieve the things that we want. If you Google motivation, 9 out of 10 things you're going to find are going to tell you to work 24/7, have that hustler's mentality, always keep going. And we wear that like a badge of honor. And look, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, yes, you need to work hard, okay, to make progress, to do the things that you want. But the word hard in that sentence, it's open to interpretation, in my opinion. It doesn't mean 24/7. To me, it means choosing the things that are important to you and going all in on that. You don't have to do everything and be everything to everybody. In the end, there has to be this synergy between yourself, your wishes and your dreams, your energy and your strengths, and then how you help other people. And when you can find that synergy, that's when the magic really happens. And to do that, you really need to start to understand your own energy needs. And if you're an introvert, what does that mean for you? If you're an extrovert, what does that mean for you? What are the things that light you up? What are the things that energize you? Instead of wearing busy like a badge of honor, what if we could be proud to have calm and quiet in our lives too? What if we could give ourselves permission to give people our very best, but from a place of like full introvertness, if that's who you are, warts and superpowers and all? What would that be like? Thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope this little recap was helpful. Maybe you missed these episodes, or maybe it was nice to have a little refresher. Next week, I'll be back with a new episode, so see you there. Thank you for listening to the Productive Introvert Community podcast. If you're an introverted entrepreneur and you're ready to thrive in your own way, then connect with me on thefrankermessage.com/contact.